Looking at the chances of women in the elections next year, it appears as though because we have 4 or 5 women, give and take 6 women running for that position, you would have expected to see some collaborations, some alliances being formed. Will alliances among women, collaborations, not increase the chances of women at the polls, especially considering the fact that the conversation out there is that let's give a woman a chance?
So women are talking. Women are definitely talking. And women are talking also as part of a larger group of people that are talking.
Are the votes not divided at this stage?
No. I mean, we're still many days to the election. So the talks are going on.
Okay.
I see collaboration ultimately is going to be an important part of this.
So there's a possibility that that will happen?
Oh, not a possibility. It will happen because the process that, that really sustains and leads to it is already on. So I believe that there would see very strong collaboration.
Is your campaign for women empowerment or having a woman at the helm of affairs of this country solely restricted to you and what you want to achieve, or would you be comfortable if another woman took the job?
You know, it wouldn't matter to me who gets to do this job, provided we don't have a repeat of this cycle of politicians that have constantly plagued our country with failure. I have made it very clear that I am a citizen who continuously will give a red card to the governance failure stemming out of leadership failure on the part of our existing other political class. The dominant parties, the 2 parties that dominate our political space, are responsible for the poor development outcomes that we have seen in this country. Now, when I see someone who is a strong candidate and someone who reflects and clearly embodies the new Nigeria that I would like to see, my desire is that we should get a new direction. I represent that new direction, and that's why I am in politics today. I never wanted to do anything with politics, but hearing people say that they would go and vote the lesser of 2 evils, that completely was a turning point for me. We needed to say to Nigerians that there are credible alternatives and you shouldn't be voting anything that reminds you of evil.
Well, since we're talking about the 2 major political parties, we clearly know that they're the most popular of them all. That are, of the women that are contesting, none is in any of these major political parties.
Thank God.
Should we ignore the fact that party popularity might play a big role in the elections, or you don't think so?
You know, the way that I look at it is that you must be willing to subordinate this individual desire to the collective aspiration of your country. Our country needs a new direction. We need to fix our politics.
But it doesn't take away the fact that these parties are more popular, and the women that you are advocating for and every other person out there are not in any of those political parties.
But, you know, the point is they don't have to be in those political parties. They need to stand on the basis of their record and their vision. And what I'm saying to you is that this country had actually alienated a larger chunk of its electorate from the political process because of the failings of these 2 political parties. In 2015, 67 million Nigerians were registered to vote. Only 28 million of them bothered to wake up and vote on that day of the presidential elections. 15 million voted for President Buhari, 13 million voted for former President Jonathan. Nearly 40 million of Nigerians chose to not have anything to do with our politics. So why do you think that happened?
If I may come in here, when I talk about party popularity, let me give you an example. It's just a little over a month to the presidential election. We clearly see that the 2 major political parties are going about with their campaigns, creating as much awareness, as popular as they are. But we find that the other political parties, with more focus on the parties where we have women, are not really doing so much. And some political experts will say they have more of the work to do to expose themselves to the electorate.
So what has happened is that you're sort of holding on to the traditional approach that these two dominant parties have always followed. What you're not realizing is that there is a very strong appetite amongst the electorate to do away with the two dominant parties. They associate them with failure. And so part of what's going on is that there is a decentralization of the campaign of a person like myself. When citizens consider me, if you looked at the nearly 40 million, let's stay with that number, that didn't bother to vote, they were going to do exactly the same thing for the 2019 elections. Majority of those people write to people like me and perhaps some others that are running and say to them, I now have a candidate. I didn't have a candidate when I was faced with only the two options, where people were saying, I would choose the lesser of two evils. There were a larger chunk of Nigerians who simply didn't want to choose anything that could be referred to as evil. Now, those ones actually don't need me asking them to come to a national stadium for me to talk to them. They already see my vision. They already understand that it is for them that I am running. So the things that I have to do are different from the things that the traditional political parties are doing. So don't in any way equate the lack of flamboyance of our campaign to not being capable of winning the elections. That would be a big mistake.
I was actually looking at party popularity in the terms that the name of the party will be displayed on the ballot paper. But we'll talk more about that after this break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.